Today's topic is a very controversial one, but it's something I believe to be entirely true. Women are running a cartel. Newsflash, you're overpaying. Now, let me explain it to you. What is a cartel? A cartel is a group of independent market participants who collude with each other as well as agreeing not to compete with each other in order to improve their profits and dominate the market. Key words here: collusion, agree not to compete, to improve their profit, and to dominate the market. Accent on the dominate. You see, there is a big misconception about what is it that women and men want in the dating market. See, men think women want the same thing as them. They don't realize that women want completely different things. Men want sex, of course. Women receive a lot of offers to have sex. And what happens when you have a lot of something? It becomes not so attractive. Those are the facts. So what happens is that there's a huge asymmetry of information in the market, meaning the women know what the men want and the men do not know what the women want. You have no clue what they want and your job is to find that out, and they know exactly what you want and your job is to make them not notice that. This is what's implied in the dating exchange. Dating is a fascinating topic because it's something that we're all kind of driven towards. We all want to find a mate for mating purposes and eventually for monogamous relationships. And it's something that is within us, it's something that drives us, something that we deeply desire for different reasons. Women might desire a monogamous relationship for reason ABC, and men might desire a monogamous relationship for EFD. But we meet in the middle and we create something that is beautiful. We create families, we create children, we create the fabric of society. Everything is built around the family unit. Economy, housing, job markets, universities, everything is built around the family unit. And it's something that is slowly dying in modern societies. It's something that is being threatened by low birth rates. It's something that is being threatened by modern age feminism. It's something that is being threatened by our lower testosterones among men and high levels of contraception used by women. And it's a big threat to the fabric of society. But that's a conversation for a different time. Now I want us to focus on the dating dynamics of the market. And I want to show y'all why is it that women are running a cartel. They're decreasing the supply, or they're limiting the supply so that they can extract the most value from sex or pussy, from whatever it is that you're trying to obtain. They want you to pay the highest price possible. Sometimes they want you to pay the highest price without even getting the product, which is what happens with so many of us. You don't want to be in that situation where you try super hard to get a girl. You pull all the tricks up your sleeve in order to impress her. You try magic tricks, you try jokes, you try being funny, you try being cocky, you try A, B, C, D, E, F, D. The list is endless, and then you end up empty-handed. Now, how exactly is that this operates? Let me break it down to you step by step. So there is a big information asymmetry in the dating market. Men don't know what women want, but women know what men want. So this gives them dominance. This gives them the upper hand, and it enables them to dominate the market. Men want sex, that's obvious. But the problem also starts with the assumption that men have that the amount of potential mates or opportunities to obtain sex that a man gets is proportional to the attractiveness of a man. But the truth is, women don't care about attractive. What is it that women actually want? See, women, they don't want sex because they have an oversupply of sex. However, they do offer sex. There is many situations where you see them saying yes, but they say yes for different reasons. Which reasons are those? Number one, they're horny, which is considered as a weakness by women. You will notice that the older women get, the more self-control they will have over their horniness. Yes, it is still, a way of biology to hack your mind and to get you to say yes and, get you in the dating market, get you reproducing. So Women that are horny will say yes. But when you take that from the equation, what do women want? Women want to have fun, or they want to fulfill a fantasy, or they want power, or they want economic status, which is also a form of power, but it's kind of on the different side because it involves direct transaction of money, and that has a different name. You get me. And there is also the situation where women want to flirt or date, but they don't actually want to have sex. And in those situations where they're trying to obtain from the interaction is some sort of utility. You know, it can be attention, it can be free drinks, it can be security, protection. So that's the reasons why they engage in the dating game. Now that you want that, they actually don't want sex unless they're horny, which is rare to be the driving factor. You know, there is a couple of things that they might want. We're going to go back to these after. Now, for the married men out there, I don't want you to think that you are exempt from this cartel dynamic just because you're no longer dating. Just because you're out of the game does not mean that the women have stopped playing. I am sure that many of you can come up with a situation or a scenario where your woman and her friends ganged up on you in order to get you to go to a certain restaurant. Now, for as harmless as this might seem, I want you to be aware of exactly what they're doing. They're using their natural instinct of colluding with each other and carteling against the opposition in order to get what they want. They will ignore or trample their own needs in order to find this balance that we call collusion. And this is crazy. This is in women, in their DNA, subconsciously, is how they interact, is how they structure themselves socially in a flat type of structure. This is why when you have a woman that stands by men against groupthink, when you have a woman that stands by what she believes in, this type of women will normally be rejected by the group and they will naturally be pushed away by the other women in the group because they threaten the delicate balance of their collusion. So you have to understand, it is a dog eat dog world for women out there. From a young age, they have to engage in this type of political games and they have to be politically shrewd. A thing that takes us so long for us men to realize that is important to be. Women are on top of this from day one, from the moment they hit puberty and they realize these intra-sexual relationships are very complex. So, how is it that women are running a cartel? They control the supply of sex until they offer it once. Women understand this, and this is why it is in their interest to obtain as much value as possible from the first exchange of sex. They limit sex to increase the value they can get for it. This is called supply manipulation, my mans. This is basic economics. This is also why if a woman gives sex easily to other men, this woman will pose a threat to the collusion, will pose a threat to the price balance that women have been able to devise. And normally they will be excluded from the group. This is also why slut shaming tends to be perpetrated more by women than by men. It is a social correction tool. They limit sex to increase the value they can get for it, meaning they want to prop up the value of pussy. They also enforce exclusivity clauses because they don't want men to realize that pussy is worthless after they have sex with it for the first time. And what I mean by worthless is easily accessible, easy to get. Now I'm using this language from an economic standpoint. Romantically, pussy is worth wonders. You know, I am a big, passionate supporter and defender of pussy. But economically speaking, once it's easy to get, it ain't worth much. This exclusivity clause serves their interests to keep a man once he lost the initial desire he had to obtain sex. So it serves their agenda. The exclusivity clause also serves the male agenda in other ways that can be explored in different videos. But it's funny how the cartel operates with an implicit exclusivity clause that, if violated, will lead to some sort of backlash, perhaps punishment. Ask the men who have access to a lot of pussy, and they will tell you how little effort they need to use in order to get it. And this is the mindfuck. That's because the price of pussy is actually artificial. In reality, it is worth just as much as the price of your dick is. Soon as you can find a way to easily fulfill their needs, the cartel collapses. Ask Leo DiCaprio. Ask Chris Hemsworth. Ask all these guys who have lines of women waiting to get a kiss from them. Ask Justin Bieber. Maybe not him. No Diddy. However, even in these situations where you have access to women at a cost-free rate, you have to realize that it's important to keep appearances. You still have to treat them in public as if they're worth something. You cannot simply destroy the lie. You cannot simply destroy the collusion that is maintaining the image of the cartel, that is maintaining their power. You cannot simply spew to the world, women ain't shit, unless you're Young Thug or Future. But even if you do so, you will lose face with a woman. You have to maintain the image that you're courting her, in public at least, so that she feels vindicated in her fight for the cartel, in her fight for female empowerment, because this is about power. And you will not humiliate her. This is important. You have to show that you value the female sexual advances that are coming to you, you that are getting them at a cost-free rate. And you have to keep the illusion that supports the cartel until you get behind closed doors. Now that's a different story. This is why, at a personal level, I am persistent that we have sex on a first date when I'm going on a date with a woman. Because I don't want to be undervalued in comparison to other attractive, powerful men. Meaning, I know that for the right male, she will give her pussy ASAP, easily. So I demand to receive royal treatment. Any other treatment would imply that there is another male out there that she looks up to more than she looks up to me, which in other words implies that I'm not all that. And that's not what I'm going for. I demand her to treat me like a king. This actually turns them on. When you interact with a woman and you ask from her king treatment so that you can give her queen treatment, what you create is now a beautiful fantasy of having the best experience that she could in life. And remember, women are hypergamous. So even though you're not Leo DiCaprio or Chris Hemsworth, you can give her the impression that you're something close to it, that you have the potential to be better than that. Maybe that potential is never realized, but hey, this is how the universe works. Potential matters, and women will fall in love with your potential if it's real, if you can back it up. And you have to demand from them that they treat you with the utmost respect. That should be your negotiation stance. That should be the minimum price point that you accept in this dating negotiation. Away from us and back to the supply collusion, back to the women. The fine balance of the market will be protected at all costs by the women. This is why women will boycott you when you disrupt their collusion. For example, when you're arriving at a party and you're hitting on several women, you are now in a closed space, you are in a so-called market. What women will feel, especially if you're having success, is that you are threatening the virtual supply limitations that they have imposed. And what happens is, if they notice that you're hitting on several of them, you will end up without going with anyone home. You will end up empty-handed. This is a natural response that they get from a man that seems to threaten their notion of value of the individual, of the group, and that breaks down that notion that there is a limited supply. You can only take one. If you hit on many women at the same time, and I mean in a way that you are putting visible effort, you will end up with nobody. So be careful with your smiles, be careful with your jokes, be careful with your advances, because women notice everything. No stone goes unturned. If they see you being friendly with too many of them, they will get the ick. and they will boycott you. Now, in the same context, if you are flirting with several women and a few dumb women fall for your tricks, making it clear that you have access to them, that their sexuality is available to you, you are now signaling that it's okay or that it's normal to treat women as cheap or as disposable. This is a direct threat to the cartel. And what women will do, they will try to remove you from the market. They might try to remove also the other women from the market. So notice the strategies and the implications that go behind actions that might seem harmless or innocent. Nothing is innocent in the dating market from the perspective of women. Remember, all of this is happening subconsciously. All of these are unspoken agreements amongst them. This will be the case even with women that have never met each other. They will trade glances, they will analyze body language, they will communicate with each other, they will smile, dance, make jokes, and they will understand the situation. Women are plotting everything behind our backs. But remember, most of this is happening subconsciously. Now, how do we beat their collusion? Number one, the only way you can beat their pricing is if you have a high supply of women. If you have a high supply of women, it's hard to believe whatever pricing they're giving it to you because you know you can get it very cheaply. And that breaks the entire pyramid scheme. Number two, if you have something to offer that they really want, like we discussed before, you can beat their collusion. Like I mentioned before, you can make them very horny. One of the ways you can do that, for example, is through dancing. That you can override the rules of the cartel and she will go like, okay, I'm ready. Number two, you can provide a very fun experience. You can be those guys that just makes life feel like a breath of fresh air. You know, these are the people with the best game. Or you can fulfill their fantasy. Now, this is very person specific because you have such a large variety of fantasies. You have the romantic guy, the hot, the jock guy. You have the gym bro, the safe guy, white blonde with blue eyes, the mixed race with green eyes like me. You have the dangerous guy. There's many options out there and you need to figure out what is the one that you can fulfill and what are fantasies that are out there. You can leverage your power, and that's called the alpha male privilege. You can just get women's attraction just because you have power, whether that is physical, whether that is social status, whether that is fame, the security that you provide. You get the picture. Or you can pay them, which is prostitution. Now, if you're paying them, you are kind of following the rules of their cartel. But then again, that kind of puts you on a different category because it's such a direct exchange. You can even argue that the costs are less because you don't have to go through all the hoops and hoops in order to get what you need. When you have these two options, whether you have a big supply of women or you're able to give them something that they really want, they will admit their collusion. They will stop it. They will leave the cartel and they will give it to you for free, easily. So let's get to the dating advice part. What is it that you want to achieve? Now, in the context of dating, of course, given that women want to increase the value that they get from the dating interaction as high as possible, they want to extract the most value as possible. You want to lower the price as much as possible so that you lower the costs for yourself. Well, one way I like to do this is to accelerate rejection. Now, rejection is virtually guaranteed, right? The majority of women are either taken or are not available for date or are on a bad day or just didn't like your attitude, or maybe you were in a bad day. So rejection is virtually guaranteed, and that's okay. We enjoy that process. It's part of the process. When I say accelerate rejection, I mean doing this in a way that is smart. I don't mean go there and do some dumb shit and make yourself look like a fool. No, I mean ask her questions about what is it that she likes, what is it that she feels. And if you feel like that doesn't match you in any sort of way, you counter that. So for example, I saw this girl I was attracted to. I went to her, I asked her, are you a hippie? Because she looked a little bit like a hippie. She says, what a weird question, why? I said, don't tell me that you're into astrology. And she's like, as a matter of fact, I am very much. Now, I found something that is good enough for her to express her true ideas about me, whether she likes me or not. And I can always backtrack on it and say, no, I actually like a little bit of astrology or not. But now you have the grounds for the rejection to continue. And this is beneficial. And this is beneficial because it also increases your attraction towards her. It increases your attraction. It makes you more attractive in two ways. Number one, it makes you look like you're not afraid of losing them. It makes you look like you don't need them, and that's attractive. Number two, it decreases her attraction. So it increases your relative attraction to her by lowering hers, by saying, I'm not afraid of pushing for a rejection. I'm not afraid. I can reject you first, even. I can create some conflict first. That decreases her um, value relative to yours, and it increases your perceived value. This strategy will attract toxic women, women with low self-esteem. The women that get attracted, that get turned on by somebody that lowers their value, are women with low self-esteem. Second thing is, you can befriend the girls that you rejected and use them as leverage to have access to other girls in the market. So if you're in a specific party and you accelerate rejection, now you didn't spend all this energy trying to date the wrong person and then going home empty-handed, because nobody wants to do that. You have now a couple of women that you've quickly rejected. You've earned their respect because you show that you're not afraid of rejection, but you've also removed them from the cartel pool, meaning you took away the power of them to exert collusion and drive up the prices of whatever it is that they're offering. You can even use the friendships as a place to get information about the women that you're actually attracted to and that you believe you actually have a chance with. And you can extract information about what is it that they truly desire. And then you can target the remaining few women that are in the dating pool now for you, that are in the market, with what they desire, and make sure that you have it, at the lowest cost possible, that you deliver what is it that they want the most at the lowest cost without spending energy for yourself. This will get you access to fairer prices. This will get you less information asymmetry, and it will make you look powerful and good. In general, it will make you look good. And lastly, you can destroy the game entirely. You can destroy the entire collusion by just refusing to pay anything and say, you want the lowest price possible, meaning for pussy, you offer dick. Dick for pussy, pussy for dick. The problem with this strategy is that you will attract only low quality women, but you will get the least cost possible. And a lot of women, you'll be surprised. They will be quite impressed with your directness. They will be quite impressed with how easy you make the negotiation. And in the end, some women will be willing to give it for whatever reason. Remember, it's not always sex. It's almost never sex what they want. So this breaks it down for you guys. I hope you liked the video. This one was a long one. This one was my first video essay. I hope you liked it. It goes a little bit into the details. The theories might be a little bit outlandish. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I hope you like it, and I'll see you in the next one.